Hi guys, I haven't posted anything to YouTube for a month. I actually had a bet with my son who's 12 that by the end of March I could get to 1,000 subscribers. To be honest, I probably didn't think I'd get to 100 subscribers, but actually getting to 770 odd subscribers and being so close to the end of the month and not posting anything in the last month is a bit frustrating because I think my son's going to win and he gets $20. But I'm going to have a one last ditch attempt to do this. So this is a video I'm going to record and publish this weekend. I have actually had probably 2 attempts at recording a video and they've either failed because my mic wasn't on, amateur mistake, or I did a really great shoot, which I will show you some footage in a minute, of some snow seen in Tahoe. But the problem was that it was so deep, the snow, that I couldn't actually get to a great composition. Sounds lame, but when you see the footage, you'll see why. So what I'm going to do today is my wife and my kids have gone to Tahoe skiing. I've stayed at home this weekend. I'm going to go out on my bike because I've no other mode of transport. I'm going to find somewhere in the local area. I'm going to explain how I did the whole shoot. So I'm going to talk you through the camera I'm going to take, the setup I'm going to use, the setup when I'm there, how I plan the location I'm going to shoot for the sunset, and see what we get. Whatever I get, I'll show you it all the way through the process to the printing at the end. So here goes. So whenever I do a shoot, I plan it, and it's really important to have a look at a map. So obviously you can use Google Maps and the satellite view is really, really useful on that. But another good trick is there's an app on the phone for this as well, TPE. But you can go on to SunCalc and there's loads of other websites that do the same thing, and you can drop a pin where you think you're going to shoot from. So I know I'm going to be shooting from around here in this location I'm going to, which is a couple of miles away from my house. And then what you can do is you can see what the sun's going to do at certain times of the day. Now I know that at sunset, when I'm going to be there, that the sun's going to be in this direction, obviously towards the west. And what I can do is I can then plan where that's going to be in relation to Mount Tamalpais, which is one of the mountains that I want to get into my shot. So I can see it's going to drop just to the left of Mount Tam here. So this is some of my camera gear. I'm going to go through some of it and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to take on the shoot today, because it's a little bit different because I've got to get it in here, which is my Timbuk2 backpack for my bike, and I've got to fit things in this here, so I can't take everything. First of all, my 70-210 lens isn't going to go with me. I usually take this on all my landscape photography shots. It's a fantastic lens. I'd say probably about 30% of the shots that I've taken with this lens. It's absolutely amazing. I've probably had it for about 10 years now. 70-200 f2.8 with stabilization. It's version 1 of the lens, but it's still amazing. So that's going to stay. I'm not going to take that with me. It's just too heavy. My camera is a Nikon D810. And the lens I've got on it is a 24-70mm lens. So this D810 is really new. I did have a D800, which I'd had for around about 4.5 years, pretty much since the day it came out. It sort of fell over into the sea, and salt water's not good for electronics. It died instantly. I tried everything I could do to get it to revive it, but unfortunately I had to replace it with this. It's a D810. It's pretty much the same. It's not got a anti-alias filter on it, but to be honest, it's not much different than the D800. So that's got a 24-70 lens on it, which I'm going to take with me, and I'm also going to take on this trip a 16-35mm lens. So this is probably the lens I'd take most of my landscape shots on. It's a fantastic lens. It has got vibration reduction on, but to be honest, you don't really need it. On a tripod, you'd switch it off anyway. Speaking of tripods, I'm going to take this tripod. Somehow I'm going to strap this to my bike. More of that later. This is actually a new tripod I've just bought. I've always had a carbon fiber tripod because I want something light that I can carry. I'm often walking and hiking places that I need to carry this, so it's really important to have a carbon fiber tripod. Obviously that's not quite as stable as a heavier tripod, but it's good enough and you can weight it down on the hook at the bottom. This is a Benro TMA 27C, you can see it in the description below. And on the top of it, I've got a ball head. I recently changed to a ball head. I just think it just makes everything much easier. It's solid. And I probably should mention as well that the connection on the ball head is an L bracket. So if you look back at my camera here, I have got an L bracket on this. Again, this is something that I've done quite recently. It makes a really big difference when you're moving from a landscape shot to a portrait shot because it stops the camera doing this when you're just mounting it from that point, that anchor point there. So that L bracket makes a big difference. I definitely recommend anybody that's not got an L bracket, go and get one. So then I have some spare batteries, some wipes for my lenses and a cloth. I have my SD cards. I have my shutter release. This is really, really important for a number of reasons. One, you can program into it, it's a fairly old Nikon MC20, but you can program into it the number of seconds or minutes that you want to do the exposure. So for long exposures where you've got maybe a 10-stop neutral density filter in, it makes it much easier to be able to record that more accurately. And then also, rather than using a timer on a camera, then using a remote shutter release is much better. So that goes with me everywhere I go. And then to my filters, I have adapter rings for my lenses, which are important. For the wide angle lens, you need one that makes it sit back a little bit. I have in here a Lee circular polarizing filter. Again, I probably use that 50% of the time. It's great when you're taking water shots and you just want to get rid of that reflection. I've got a neutral density filter, which is a Nisi neutral density filter. This is a 10-stop neutral density filter. I've also got a 3-stop neutral density filter in my Lee kit, and in my Lee kit as well, I've got some soft and hard graduated filters, and then I've just got my adapter to fit it to my lens, and that is the kit. So what I'm going to take on this trip that I'm going to go on today is I'm going to leave out my 70-200, and I'm hopefully going to get my camera, and I'm going to try and get this lens. If I can't get my camera and this lens, I'll probably just take my wide lens. That's it. See if I can get it all in this backpack and on my bike now. Okay, well, we're on our way. There's a lot of weight on my bike, more than I like really. So I've got to get back up this hill, even though I've got an electric bike. It's going to be a push, but I've got to go up the hill at the other side, where I'm going to take the photos, back down, and then back up the other hill, and hopefully not run out of battery power. It's not a long way, but it takes a lot of power on the bike when you go up steep hills. I think I've got about 1,400 feet of climbing to do. So, see what happens. So I'm about 3/4 of the way up, and it's absolutely amazing. What a gorgeous day. Sun's going down over there, and I'm sure there's got to be a great composition here. I really like these rocks. Mount Tam's over there in the distance, and there's San Francisco. Wow. Okay, I made it to the top, and the sun's going down over there over Mount Tam. I think there's a shot just over here with the layers of receding layers in the mist. I think it should be really good. So I'm just going to go a bit further around down there and see what I can find. It was hard work and muddy. I'm a little bit late. So what I wanted to do was try and get a shot of Mount Tam, which you can see if I just move down here. Unfortunately, it's getting hazy. Haze is not good. We don't want haze. So I think when the sun's gone all the way down, there might be some really good afterglow, as it maybe just drops below the haze. But at the moment, it's just a bit hazy. So I found these rocks here. And I think there's a good, if I go a bit higher up, if we just walk a bit further up here, see what we can find. There's some beautiful flowers here. Just a bit windy, so they're just gonna move. So, but there's a good view, probably about here. I've set my camera up down there, and actually, there's a better view here. There's a road you can just see down there that leads the eye through to Mount Tam. And before the sun went into the haze, it was just creating really good definition in the hills. These rocks, I really like these rocks. They're just really contrasty against all the different landscape, and the green and the lichen on the rocks looks fantastic. Okay, there wasn't much up where the rocks were there. The problem is that the light over there is not great at the moment, although there is a really good cloud over San Francisco, just there. But the light is getting much better now here. So what I've got is that this road and the water on the right will lead your eye right towards the mountain on the right hand side, and then there's dappled light on the hillsides that creates a graduation of hills as you go back into the distance. It looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, I moved about 100 foot away from where I was before. So I was just back up there before, that's where those rocks are. And I've now moved just to the edge of this hill. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the foreground, which is just this grass down here. And you can see those rolling hills in the distance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two shots. One, which is going to be a close-up of those rolling hills, and there's a path that just leads through there. And then the other is going to be wider with Mount Tam on. I think the sun's too bright. I just don't, because the sun's not going to set over that horizon. I need the sun to get the shadows on these hills. It's just going to be a little bit too bright. So I'm going to focus in a little bit tighter, take the sun out of the equation, and hopefully that should be a great shot. I might not need the neutral density grad that I've got on then. And I have just got it set on raw. It's going to be f8. Yeah, it's not a brilliant shot, but it's not a bad one. I think it's going to be good. Good. Got some great photos. Right. Now to cycle home before it's dark. Quite like this cycle photography. Ooh.